Crafters, Karen here, and welcome back to another Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar series. Today is day number 10, and we're going to go ahead, jump in, and get started. Flap number 10 is right here on the left-hand side, and it is another rectangular shape. I'll open up the flap and we'll take a peek at the reverse side of the flap and see what the gift is for today. Looks like it is a sentiment, and the sentiment says just saying hello. So that will either be a die or it will be a stamp. So I remove the release paper and it looks like we have some dies. So I'll go ahead, take this out, and I will lay that out on my work surface so you can see what the die looks like. Now, these are 3 pieces, so there's a die for each of the words. So one for just, one for saying, and one for hello. And they're a pretty good size, so let's go ahead and see what I create using the dies for today. Here are the supplies I'll be using in today's video, and I thought what I would do is I would create a wood grain background with some flying butterflies. Now this flying butterfly die is from Waffle Flower, and I have the wood grain embossing folder from Stampin' Up. And of course I will be using a color cube to help me color in my butterflies, and I chose card number 500. I will be using all 6 of those colors that you see on the card, and in fact, for that brown color, I will be using 2 different browns for 2 different purposes. So that white piece of cardstock, I will be doing some ink blending with my Distress Oxides, the Crackling Campfire and the Ground Espresso. Once I have that ink blended, I will run that through my embossing folder, and then I'll do some watercoloring effect, and that's why you see that spray bottle there on the left. For the butterflies, I will be using 3 Tailored Expression inks today, the Candy Corn, Blue Raspberry, and Sprinkles, and then I will also be using a Memento dye ink, the Dandelion. Here I'm just showing you the cardstock that I will be laying on top of the card box after I've ink blended it and then run it through my Big Shot machine. You see here the VersaFine Clair Pine Cone ink. I am going to be doing some heat embossing, and you'll see me doing that later on in the video. And then I'm just showing you some of the scraps of cardstock that I brought in for my dies, and then again for the piece that I will be running through my embossing folder. So we're going to go ahead and we'll get started with the project. So I'm going to start with the Crackling Campfire, and I'm basically just going to start ink blending this around the center of the white cardstock. And then I go with the Ground Espresso, and I want that on the outer edge. And I do this until all of the white is covered, and then you'll see that I will go back and forth between the Crackling Campfire and the Ground Espresso, and just making sure that I get full coverage and a nice blend there. And now I will run that through my embossing folder. After I've run it through my embossing folder, I'm going to take the water and I'm going to spray it on my hand and just flick it on top of the wood grain piece of cardstock. And it will, you'll see the watercolor effect there. That's what those spots are there for. And I'm going to set that to the side and I'm going to let that dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and again use my 2 oxides to ink blend the lid of the box. And I'm trying to go light here with the Crackling Campfire. I do tend to have a heavy hand when I ink blend, and you can kind of see that on the left flap here up at the top left. And then I bring in my Ground Espresso, and I really just want to touch up the edges. I don't want to go too far into the box, as I want that Crackling Campfire to kind of stand out on its own. And again, the Ground Espresso is really just to touch up the edges of the box. and I just go through the entire box. And then now what I'm going to do is bring back my wood grain piece, and I'm going to use my ATG gun to get the adhesive on there and then layer that in the center of the box. Once I have that done, I'm going to bring in the frame of the flying butterflies. And I did cut that out 3 times because I want to layer that 3 times, and the butterflies will sit inside that frame. So I'm bringing in my clear embossing powder, and I'm just going to bring in my heat gun and set that. And hopefully you could see the embossing powder melting. It gives it such a shiny, pretty look. And that is the finished frame for the butterflies. Now we'll bring in the butterflies, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to now start the ink blending using different colors. And since there are 8 butterflies, I'm going to do 2 of each of the colors. And I thought while I'm ink blending, I will go ahead and play some music for you. And I will see you toward the end of the video. Sit back and enjoy. here is the bottom portion of the box. And of course, I went with butterflies, and it was a double-sided piece of patterned paper. If you have a set of hello cards, they would look fabulous with this card box with the sentiment just saying hello. This wraps up another video, and until my next video, which is tomorrow, day 11, I hope your day is a crafty day. Take care, everyone. See you again soon. Bye-bye.